This video is going to be on the NextBase 222 dash camera. Got it at Walmart. Basically, I'm just going to show you a quick menu. I'm going to install it in a vehicle. I'm going to drive it for a couple of days, and I'll do a follow-up video on how to retrieve the videos off there, what they look like. But this video is just basically unboxing what comes in the box and how to install it without actually installing it. So you've got a long power cord, plugs in your cigarette lighter. I believe you can use this with just a USB cord. So if you got a USB micro that's long enough and a USB port, you can run it to that. You've got the camera. You've got the mounting base. You've also got an optional glue-on base. So if you were going to glue this onto something, you could actually permanently attach it to your windshield or something. I personally want to be able to remove mine, so I'm not going to use that part. But this part snaps off the bottom of the suction cup, and you can put it on the direct mount. So the good part about this camera is the power cord plugs into this top piece here, into your mount. So this will mount to the windshield. Mount to the windshield. Your power cord goes in here. The camera itself, on the front of it, has a little port here, and this is magnetic. So what you want to do, it's got a little neodymium magnet in there. Once this is on there, all you're going to do is take your camera and drop it on. So you can remove the camera by just pulling out on it and removing it. So this stays stuck to the windshield, stays plugged in all the time. When you're ready, stick your camera on and you're ready to go. The magnet's strong enough, it's not going to fall off, hit bumps. If you're on a trail or something like that, I haven't tried it yet, but I've got some bumpy roads I go down. I'll let you know how it holds, but it feels really strong. When you try to pull it off, the first time you do it, you feel like there's something catching, but it's not. You just got to pull hard for the magnet to release. All right, so this also comes with a little small cable, a little micro USB cable. On the bottom here is a little rubber flap. If I can get my fingers in there. So you can plug in your cable to it. I'm going to plug that into there. I'm going to plug this into my laptop just so I can have some power. So when it powers up, obviously I've got it upside down here. You've got access files, so if you were going to try to retrieve your files, you can do it from there. Power on, which just takes us into the regular menu, and then a firmware update. I've already done the firmware update. I've got a separate video on that because that was a little more complicated than what the system tells you it is. Basically, it tells you on the 222, hit this button, go to the website, download the firmware or the software, run the software, do the update from there, but it doesn't work on this model. It has to be larger than the 222 on the model. So I'll put a link above to the firmware update. So you want to update the firmware first. Once you get the firmware updated, come back into here. We're going to go to power on. And the menu is pretty simple to use. So if you hit menu once, it brings you into your resolution, exposure, audio recording, video length, sensor, time, date, stamp. So resolutions basically, if you set it to 1080p, it's going to record the best resolution, but it's going to take up more memory. Whereas the bottom on the 720p, it's going to take up less memory space, but not record as well. So I'm going to put mine in 1080p. The exposure, if you're driving in direct sunlight or if you're in a really sunny spot, you might want to change the exposure. It'll keep the camera from blurring out on you a little bit. For the most part, you never have to mess with that. Hit menu to go back. Audio recording, basically that records the audio inside the vehicle. Personally, I'm turning mine off, but you can leave yours on if you want to hear what's going on inside the car. Video length, this camera records in segments. So basically it'll record a 1 minute segment, it stops, it records another 1 minute segment, stops, records another. It just continuously records in small segments to make it easier for you to retrieve your videos. So I'm going to set mine to 3 so it keeps 3 minute segments. Once it gets to the end of the SD card, it just starts overwriting itself. So it'll just keep on going. Time and date stamp, I'm going to turn that on. That basically, if you get in an accident, it has the time and date on the video. G sensors, if somebody hits your vehicle, like it's parked, it'll automatically start recording. This is going to go in a big truck, so it's not going to matter what I set mine on, so I'm going to leave it on medium. If they hit the truck hard enough to do that, I've got more problems. And that's all there is in the main menus. So I'm going to go back to menu again. It's going to take me back to this screen. I'm going to hit menu 2 times. That gives me the option to format the SD card, which we are going to do once you do the firmware update, or if it's a new SD card in here. Time and date, this lets you set the time and date on it. So we're going to set the time and date on here. So I'm just going to go up and down. So it's 9 o'clock a.m. and it is May the 11th. Oops, and backwards because it's day, month, year. So let me go back, time and date, enter, enter, enter. Let's change this to month, day, year, enter. So then I'm going to do 5, 11, 21. Okay, menu back. So that's set. Language, English here. Screensaver, turn it off. So basically it would just come up with a little screensaver on here. I just want mine to go black when it's not working. Sounds, as you can hear the beeping as you're going back and forth. I don't mind the beeping when it's moving. Auto power off. Basically once you shut off the vehicle, depending on your vehicle, some vehicles automatically have, like the newer cars, the computer actually stays on for 10 to 30 seconds sometimes. So it's going to stay on as long as it's powered. After the power goes off, you can have it stay on for another 1 or 2 minutes. Normally 10 seconds is all you need. You don't want to drain in the battery. If there's a lot of movement in front of it, if the camera keeps kicking on, it could possibly drain your battery, but it would have to be on a long time. It's a small screen, doesn't take a lot of power. The license number plate, you can put in your license number plate, or if you want to record somebody else's license number plate in here, you could actually type in a license plate number if you wanted to. Not sure that would be very practical, but that's what that's for. Parking mode, that's basically, like I said, if you're parked and somebody walks in front of the vehicle, it'll actually start recording for 1 minute, 3 minutes, whatever you got it set to. I'm going to leave mine off. Recording history, just leave it on maximum. System info gives you the firmware update and everything like that. Like I said, I've already done my firmware update. Let's see, back. So nothing else on there. Keep user settings on. That's basically just wherever you left it last time. If you have it on 1080p, when you turn on it, it comes on 1080p. And we're back to the main menu again. So not a lot to the menu on this one. You'll notice my microphone's off up there. You can actually reach up here and push the up arrow. Turns the microphone back on. So it's kind of like a little mini menu, a little quick menu. So you don't have to go through the whole menu to turn the audio on and off. Down on the bottom here is a file or a black screen. It looks like a folder, but basically when you push it, it turns off the screen or turns the screen on. So if it goes into screensaver mode or it goes dark and you actually want to pull it up, you can click that button and it pulls it back up for you. So the mode button puts you in camera mode so you can take pictures. You push mode again, it takes you to the files on there so you can go up and down through the files and actually look at the videos that have happened on the vehicle. The NextBase here locks the video. So basically if you're recording, in the middle of recording, if you go in here and you hit the lock button, it will save this data and you can't overwrite it without going in and making sure you overwrite it. That way it knows for a fact that, hey, I want this video clip, don't overwrite this video clip. So I'm going to hit that. And that's really about all there is to it. Power on, power off. Press and hold power if you're going to manually power it off. We're going to go install it in the vehicle. I'm going to drive it for a few days and we'll do a review on how well it works.